The unfortunate thing is the League Cup trophy has clouded the frailties this team has. And we performed really well in the League's Cup, but that has not translated from the season beginning to now in league play.
Seattle Sounders 2, Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Charles, first and foremost, you're the first fan cam person we have done a fan cam with in ages. How honored do you feel right now?
Very, very honored. Thanks for having me here, Zion.
So what was your thoughts on tonight's match?
Well, I feel like Thomas Muller is really, really great.
Yeah.
And their team is not as good as I was thinking. And then Sounders has been very stale with Jordan Morris starting, especially. I mean, Rusa is pretty good, I'll say. And but then, everything else is like pretty normal. It wasn't like a special. It doesn't feel like special at all. But at the same time, we played Vancouver tonight. It's supposed to feel special, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Vancouver are the second place team. They're fighting in the Supporter Shield race. They brought in a guy like Thomas Muller this season. You bring in big investments. You're kind of seeing those rewards being reaped. What was missing tonight for the Sounders? Because realistically, both teams needed all 3 points. What were the Sounders missing to be able to get the win? Because there was like that 5-minute span where Sounders just like lit up. But then other than that, we didn't see much from them the rest of the game. The whole 80 minutes from them.
I mean, I feel like it's the finishing piece as always. Yeah. It's always the finishing piece. We don't have that striker, which is like, all right, game changer. Yeah. Like we need a game changer striker. Jordan Morris is not that. Moose is pretty good. Moose is really, really great for us, but it's like, okay, Moose, maybe a couple of weeks ago, that Moose is really, really amazing. But then like without him finishing a few games before now. So yeah, like Moose is.
He's a good backup, but he's not the guy that will carry you to win trophies.
Right. I mean, there was a time that I thought Moose is gonna be that guy, but then like now it's slowing. Like
reality may be setting.
Yeah.
For the Sounders, we have 3-4 games left in the season going into the playoffs. What are your hopes for those remaining games, and then what are your hopes going into the playoffs? So basically, what's your hopes for the remainder of the season?
Well, my hope is to actually get some games that we can host in the playoff, and then at the end, like probably we're gonna get into semifinal of the Western Conference. But then, can we actually win the Western Conference or get into MLS Cup final? I don't know about that.
All right, Dorian, what was your thoughts on tonight's match?
Oh man, okay result, but I honestly thought it was a pretty boring game. I felt that we're missing some magic, some creativity, something different.
Water is wet. That's what I like to say when it comes to that. But we've known this. Sounders are missing that magical piece. We've known that for a while. Yeah. But it was very evident tonight. Yeah,
I think, the goals were good. I mean, they weren't the craziest things, but they were put away when they should have.
Yeah.
I hope Yamar and Alex are okay.
Yamar especially.
Yeah, especially Yamar. I was impressed with Kim Ki-hee.
That's my goat right there.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah. He could probably honestly start right next to Yamar, but obviously it's hard.
I think tonight what we saw from the Sounders was Vancouver dominating large parts of the game, but a 5-minute spurt, 5-10 minutes where the Sounders got themselves in the game, but it's a 90-minute match. We saw Vancouver dominate, and realistically both teams needed all 3 points. For you, I know you said we needed a magical spark. What else was missing, or was it just that, hey, we don't have that guy that could kill off the game, make it happen? What was missing for the Sounders to get that 3 points tonight? Because they've been on a bad stretch of form post-Leagues Cup.
Yeah. I don't know. It didn't feel like a derby match today. It didn't. So, when you think of a derby match, you think of emotion. You think of
passion, maybe?
Passion, motivation. It wasn't there until there was that 5-minute stretch of those 2 goals. But outside of that, I didn't see much. I am a huge Georgie fan, so whenever he comes in, he brings the energy. Obviously, he can't do that by himself on the wing, right? But it was a pretty average match. So it was good. It was good. It was good to watch. But it's like you said, we just need a little bit more magic.
For you, we only have a few more games remaining for the season before going into the playoffs. Sounders have hit that slump since Leagues Cup.
Right.
What do you want to see from them? What maybe needs to happen? What kind of switches would you like to see? And what are your hopes going into the playoffs? Obviously, yes, win MLS Cup, but
Right.
what are you thinking?
Okay, hot take. I love Andrew, and maybe he can bring some energy coming from the back a little bit.
But that has been a big topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Like, Andrew Thomas has been the guy for the Sounders since Fry has been injured, and if anything, he's put up Fry-esque, if not better, performances. And it's been this weird yo-yo now since Fry's been back.
Yeah.
Who should be starting in this and that? For you, it seems like Andrew Thomas clear. He should clean out the rest of the season for the Sounders.
I agree. I mean, as a goalkeeper myself, like, you don't really flip-flop goalkeepers all the time because it kind of throws
the rhythm off.
The rhythm off, especially in your defense. You know, I am not a professional. However, I've played goalkeeper for a very long time, and when that happens, you kind of get off your game. And Andrew has been, I've seen the energy, you know, his swagger in the back, and that has something to say on defense. But when it comes to on these last 3 games, I have confidence because we've been here before. We've had these slumps before. And I wouldn't be surprised if we win a couple games going into playoffs right away. That's expected with the legacy that we have. So anything less, I think we might have some disappointment.
Santi, it's been a while. We're having you back. Welcome back.
Yeah, feels good. Feels good to be back. So,
what was your thoughts on tonight's match?
Yeah, well played by Vancouver. I just want to preface by saying the ref is not what lost us the match tonight, but 16 fouls and 1 yellow card is a bit outrageous. I mean, a yellow card at the beginning of the game sets the tone. So there were a little bit of inconsistencies there. But, no, at the end of the night, it came down to us. I think what it really came down to was holy giveaway. Oh, my God. That first half, I don't know if I can count on one hand how many times we gave away the ball in the midfield. I think specifically with our defense and the goalie, I mean, if you're going to clear the ball, it's got to get to one of our players or it's got to be way out there. But directly into the middle of the field on our defensive third, really dangerous way to play the game. And I think we really missed Obed Vargas tonight. Snyder Brunel, great talent. I think he's got a really bright future. But I think, you know, gave away that first goal directly. I think you can just kind of see a couple of chinks in the armor there. You know, it's just nice to have somebody like Obed really holding down that the top of the box there, but also being able to get up and help control the game in the attacking third. So, you know, I think putting in good crosses, our shooting was decent. You know, Taco Oak, I believe, the keeper for Vancouver. That little keeper. I think it really just came down to a battle of the midfields. That's what it was. So,
for the Sounders, they've been kind of on this like downwards trajectory since the Leagues Cup high. What do you think the reason is for that? Is it a championship hangover? We've kind of talked about on the channel the reintroduction of Morris Rusnak. We saw honestly the best success without them during Leagues Cup. Fry's now kind of come back in the mix. Andrew Thomas has kind of taken somewhat of a backseat. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've kind of been talking about for a little bit is, look, we got a lot of players, a lot of quality players on the team, but they bring different things to the table. You know, not maybe some good, some bad. I think Morris is still, you know, an MLS level player, just maybe not what we need anymore. I think, you know, there are other teams that, you know, probably want exactly what he has, but especially for the money we're paying him, no, we've got so much young talent. Musovski, you know, decent backup striker. De Rosario, I think he's got a lot of room to improve. You know, I think he's okay right now, but I think he's got some room to improve. I mean, fans have been saying this for a while. And I mean everybody, I think would still really like, you know, the big name Antoine Griezmann. You know, he floats around. He's a ghost of Seattle. He haunts us. Just scored recently, his first goal in 22 games. And it meant a lot to him. He's still in it. He's still in the game, and it would be so nice to see someone like him come to the Sounders the way that, even Vancouver has Mueller, Miami has the entire Barcelona team, ready to go, and just somebody big would be nice. Moving forward, and then complementing that with young players, a lot of energy to bring to support that. Because we're not going to get that from the older players. So
we only have a few more games left in the season. What do you kind of want to see from the team going into the playoffs? Because as I said, we've been on a little bit of a downward slope, and we're kind of in this murky waters if we could finish in 5th, 6th, or 7th. And obviously that will determine who we play in the playoffs. It could be a tougher opponent or even more tougher opponent. What do you want to see? And then going into playoffs, what do you think our chances are?
Right. I mean, I guess I'll just say right off the bat, our chances depend a lot on our lineups here. And yeah, going back to that championship hangover, I think what I'd like to see moving forward is what I've kind of been, not so subtly hinting at, which is to see, some of these players, Stephen Fry, Sounders legend, but Andrew Thomas, he's
a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog. He brings that, just that confidence, and just that he's, he aura maxes. You love
aura
to see
farming's insane.
Yes, it is. And so, seeing players like Andrew Thomas, seeing players like the younger guys on the wing, Georgie. I mean, come on. How many times have we been saying this? We need more minutes, right? I think that championship hangover is a product of essentially getting these older players back. They are veteran, they are experienced, but they don't have as much to fight for the way that Thomas, the way that Vargas, the way that Georgie, the way that De Rosario, all these young players during the championships, right? The Leagues Cup, the Club World Cup, we had these young players who are fighting for the badge. They need to make a name for themselves, and that's why we see that energy. And I think going into the MLS Cup, implementing that into our lineups would really make a big difference.
In an ideal world for you during this off season, I haven't asked anyone this question. Are some of these guys susceptible to being offloaded for you? Because Rusnak, Morris, they are DPs. I mean, would you maybe be okay with letting some of them go?
Oh yeah, no, and honestly, I've at least played with this idea for a little bit. Again, we have some Sounders legends on the team right now, but everything has to come to an end, good or bad. And so, like I said, Morris, a lot of money. I think it would just be in our best interest to maybe see him off to another team. I want to see these guys go out with a bang, right? I don't want to see them fizzle out. And so I think Rusnak, debatable. I think he's still a quality player. He still brings a lot to the table here. But yeah, Morris, Fry, we have, I think, a little bit of dead weight here that I think we could definitely benefit from offloading. I could totally see us improving by, making some cuts here and there.
Just the same old problem we've been having all season. From game one to now, we've had winning positions and we've dropped points. And I'd hate to think about looking at those drop points where we'd be in the table if it wasn't for
Supporter Shield race.
Not Supporter Shield, yeah, but it's just playoff positions. We're not going to finish in the top 4 now.
Yeah.
That's just unrealistic. The unfortunate thing is the League Cup trophy has clouded the frailties this team has, and we performed really well in the League's Cup, but that has not translated from the season beginning to now in league play, and we're not performing up to our level. It's disappointing.
What was the Sounders lacking tonight to get that win, or in general, like you said, losing games from winning positions? What are we missing that we could solve that problem with?
Tonight's complicated because you don't know what would have happened if Yamar and Roldan had been able to stay in, because defensively we shouldn't have given up the goals we gave, and not having those two guys in can obviously be critical. I'm not saying anything about Keehee or anything of that, but But it's the same thing. We got to score more goals, and I know we got to, but
if you're gonna play a shootout, basically the other team, you have to be able to be the one that scores more goals. I know that sounds very obvious, but that is how it works.
Yeah, and yeah. Hey, the upside. Last year we got beat 2-0, so
it's a slight improvement. We were able to score 2 goals this time. To close out the season, what are you hoping for? There's 3-4 games left.
We've
then
got
we go into
Portland
playoffs
next week, and then Real, and then NYCFC.
Yeah.
Well, we can win all 3 of those, and we're still going to do no better than 5th.
I have a stat for you before we continue talking. Do you remember the last time the Sounders beat the Timbers at home?
No, because I'm my age. I can't remember back that far.
I believe it was 2017, the last time the Sounders beat the Timbers at home. So obviously, I think that's a big thing Sounders have to strive for going into this match.
Oh yeah, I was a young man then.
How young are we talking here?
Well, I'm 63 now, so
okay, so maybe 16 shades here and there.
I was 55 back then, so
Do you think Sounders can win MLS Cup? That's the last question
No.
I have. No.
No.
Wow.
No.
Why is that?
The whole season we have not looked to me. We did really well in Leagues Cup, obviously, but we've never appeared to me to be a team that had the quality to win the cup.
What are we missing? What is that?
Well, I mean, things could happen because we all know from 2016 that the best team doesn't win the MLS Cup because we were not the best team in 2016. So anything can happen. But if we play at our best, yes, I think we can win. But can we do that through the entire playoff run? I don't think so, especially given that we're going to play the vast majority of the games away from home.
All right, Caesar, what was your thoughts on tonight's match?
To be honest, I think that we played a pretty well game. In spite of us not really winning against the Whitecaps. So, I think we played pretty good. I think we came back in the second half, and I'm Reagan. That blows my mind. That guy. I doubted him in the first place. I was like, who's this guy? Where did he come from? And then I have a boy. Shout out to Zach Gallimore. I love you, bro. He was like, yo, Reagan's the guy. He's the guy. Just trust me. And he came through. And props on you. And the whole game changed the second half, which is insane. The first half was like, yes, we kind of had possession, but they were we didn't have any good shots, anything good. So it's good to see the Sounders come in second half with a great mindset. Yeah, we're down 1. Boom. Within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 goals? That blew my mind. So, good on them. Pretty disappointed with Morris. Not sure how you feel about that. I know he's a DP1, but, what a waste. But I love him. He gave a lot to Seattle. And, it's that time, It's, we got to get these young guys in, let them play. These kids are homegrown and they're doing good. I'm telling you, it's insane. I'm pretty proud of our team, and it's 2-2, but we already clinched. So I understand why maybe De La Vega. I'm not sure if he wasn't on the bench, or I didn't see. I was too far out. I didn't see who was on the bench, but I get why we don't play these players off the bat starting, because why injure them going into the playoffs is not worth the risk. So. Yeah.
What do you think the Sounders were missing? Because as you said, we tied. We had that great 5-10 minute stretch to come back, get ourselves back in the game, take the lead. But what were we missing to win this game, to be able to keep ourselves in contention to win the Cascadia Cup? Because at the end of the day, us drawing, Vancouver wins Cascadia Cup. What were we missing to get 3 points today?
To be honest, it's the defense. We can't make these small little mistakes in the back. It's happened the past couple games. We can't do that. It's ridiculous. Come on, we're professionals. Let's act like it. Let's play like a professional. Why are we making these little tiny mistakes? It makes no sense. Yeah. These guys are pros. You know what I'm saying? Why make these little mistakes where now it's 1-0. Yeah. Now we have to catch up. You know what I'm saying? We just need a better
defensive structure.
Yeah, I like Nuhu. I love Nuhu. Yamar, I love Yamar. I was surprised with the 2 subs early within 20 minutes.
It was due to injuries.
It's due to injuries. It sucks. It happens. It is what it is. But in reality, I think that we have to put more focus into that now. Georgie doing great in the wing. Rothrock, great in the wing. The Rodons are doing great. It sucks that, one of them got injured, but hey, it is what it is. We just got to move forward from it. But like we're stacked. I'm not sure, but we're stacked with great players, and they have great potential. You saw it.
Yeah.
And I was going to go to the game versus Inter Miami. I regret it 100% because I was like, oh, no, we're going to lose. But, oh, my God, like this team is doing pretty good. I'm proud of it, and I like what Brian did. You question it. I know you question it a lot. A lot of people question it. What's up with the lineups, the change-ups every year? Oh, like, why wasn't Georgie in the bench, like, week prior? Okay, like, what's going on? Like, what's going through his mindset? And everybody questions it, but it happens for a reason, which is good. Yeah. And, hey, hopefully we win it. I want them to go to the championship and we win the MLS Cup, but it is what it is. We just got to hope, we're hardcore Sounders fans, and we just got to keep pushing. So, yeah.
So now that you've talked about it, playoffs, MLS Cup, we only have a few more games left in the season. Sounders, their spot is still up in the air. Where are they going to place? 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th? It could be anywhere in between, above, below. What are your hopes for that? And then what are your hopes going into the playoffs? What do we need to see from the Sounders going into the playoffs and in the playoffs?
We need to find a solid 11. That's the biggest thing, a solid. None of this changing up like, oh, yeah, we're going to start with Delver's Audio, or we're going to start with the Moose, or we're going to start, Morris. Like, find a solid lineup and let's just keep it the same.
Stick with it going into playoffs.
Yeah, that's all you have to do, because you can't just, we're gambling here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're going to go red or black. Which way are we going? Brian, which way are we going? You bet on black all the way through. Keep it through. And that's how we, what I'm saying? And then at the end, hey, start making those change-ups. Let's go. Start, it shouldn't be like halfway in the 45 after the second half. It should be, okay, this is our lineup going into, the playoffs, and we're to keep it that way.